there. Well, let's get more with our environment correspondent, Navin Singh Khadka. This report is pretty worrying, isn't it? Now, which ranges were they looking at?
So if you talk about, apps, most of the studies have happened in the apps, but there have been some studies also happen in New Zealand, for instance. And then also the climbing guides, what's prepared by experienced climbers. So that is there also in the Pacific Northwest and in Andes. So we've spoken to all these scientists and also mountain guides.
So Alps, Andes, in fact, it's a pretty global picture.
And also the Himalayas, of course.
And the Himalayas.
Yeah, but as we rightly said, that most of the studies have focused on the Alps, but when you kind of match that with other places, the story is pretty much the same.
So the fact that the ice and the snow is melting makes it even more dangerous, presumably, on some of these routes, just because of the insecurity of climbing on that sort of surface. So
the most often said danger is about rock falls. So what happens is ice and snow, they act as cement, keeping rocks together. So when the ice is gone or snow is gone, they tend to fall down. And also the fact that when you have thin glaciers, then crevasses also widen. So that's there. So the most striking explanation was from the Sherpa in the guide, in fact, in the Himalayas, who said that wearing crampons, if you had solid ice or snow, the grip would be much better. But if it's gone, then you are walking on rocks. So it's like wearing high heels on marble.
Yeah, I saw that. Stilettos on marble, which it makes it even more terrifying for these climbers. What does it mean in terms of climbing expeditions? I mean, will there be some mountains that people will not physically be able to climb in the next decade or so?
So, for example, this study in the Alps, so almost all of the itineraries, the routes they had to follow, they have been impacted. So, as a result, many of the routes have been abandoned, changed, and even seasons have had to be brought forward. The same thing in Everest. But the thing is here, if you had multiple routes, for example, then you have the luxury of opting the safer ones. But in the Himalayas, for instance, there are certain routes, so compared to the Alps. So what they're telling me is there are places where you have one route, and if the danger is increasing there, then it might become almost impossible.
And I suppose the problem is that this cannot be turned round in a very short period of time, can it?
So you see, the thing is, climate change as a global issue, so we have this whole thing of carbon emissions, human activities, and so on and so forth. But having said that, what mountain guides are telling me is they try to adapt to the situation. So as a result, you're going for new routes, for instance, or also but what they're saying is they need research and development so that they can train their guides more and more and prepare beforehand.
Okay. Navin Singh Khadka, thank you very much indeed.